remembering Pope Francis.
I just think he was a genuinely human, kind, humble man.
A legacy left on the Catholic Church.
Pope Francis represents to me, an evolving church, a church that is not stuck in time.
Felt around the world.
It is a shock to have it happen so suddenly because he had his last public appearance yesterday.
It's a moment of a bit of sadness and at the same time thankfulness and celebration of life.
And here in Northeast Ohio.
It's sad. I know he was sick, so he's at with his eternal reward right now.
As Catholics from around the world come together to grieve.
A great loss for the world and for the church, and our hearts mourn today as this great Pope went home to the Lord.
We begin at 4 with a live look at Vatican City as new information about the death of Pope Francis emerges this afternoon. Just an hour and a half ago, the Vatican announcing that the Pope died from a stroke and heart failure as it held a ceremony to formally recognize Pope Francis's death.
We will continue that conversation as we also look at a track right now, a line of showers and storms that are moving across parts of Northeast Ohio. Jessica Van Meter is joining us with that in just a moment, but first we do want to get to this breaking news that we've been following all day. The world, of course, grieving the death of Pope Francis. And here in Greater Cleveland, Catholics and admirers, they're emotional as they remember him.
The Pope had been head of the Catholic Church for the past 12 years, passing at 88 years old. Our Kaitor K is live at the Cathedral of St. John the Evangelist, where he spoke with leaders of the Catholic Diocese of Cleveland. Kaitor, I'm sure a somber mood there today.
Absolutely, Jay. So I spoke with Father Damian Ference, who lives here at the church, and he says this morning they rang the church bells, a tradition they do whenever a father passes. And outside of the cathedral, they hung up black bunting fabric as a sign of the Pope's passing. And inside, they've displayed his portrait, and they also had a mass at noon. Here's Father Ference sharing the legacy he believes Pope Francis leaves behind.
He's the first Holy Father that came to us from South America, and he was surrounded by the poor. So if you paid attention, he had a very special interest and love for the poor and those on the margins of societies. He called it the peripheries. So he wanted to make sure that we were taking care of everybody, but especially those who were on the margins and maybe were forgotten.
Ference also shared how he had the honor of meeting Pope Francis back in 2019, saying that the Pope shook his hand and gave him a rosary. Ference also gave him a book that he had written, and the Pope expressed his gratitude for that. The Cathedral of St. John the Evangelist says special prayers will be held throughout this week, and they welcome people to come and pray with them. And coming up at 5, Father Ference is going to continue to share the deep sadness that the community is feeling right now, and he's also going to share the personal and direct connection that the Pope had here to Cleveland.
All right, Kaitor K reporting live for us. Kaitor, thank you.